Hello, people of the internet. It is I, Gabber890, back again with another video. So, last time we officially finished. And what do I mean by that? I mean, we have gone through every single video game here on my shelves and behind me, and all my PC games as well. So, every console, every handheld, and my PC all covered. So, things are going to be a little different moving forward. Going to be more unique subjects and just different things from my collection. So I thought I'd start us off with a fun one. I'm talking about the Nintendo Gamecube, of course. Definitely one of my favorite consoles of all time. First one that I was able to save up and buy for myself. And so I feel like a lot of people, that console that, that they bought themselves for the first time really tends to be one of their favorites, close to the heart. But anyways, I thought that since GameCube prices especially have just been skyrocketing, that I wanted to revisit kind of the potential value of what they are, just out of curiosity, and just seeing what are my top 10 most valuable games. Now, obviously, prices fluctuate, so they were insane last year. They're not a whole lot better this year, but I feel like they've gone down a little, or at least settled. And so obviously these prices, you know, are only going to be good for about the month of September in 2021. After that, who knows what's going to happen. And then there's also, all sorts of factors that vary into what makes the game more valuable and all that. So, anyways, these are just kind of rough estimates. And, maybe I could get a little more for them or a little less. But, yeah, anyways, starting us off at roughly about $110 complete, black label, Metal Gear Solid The Twin Snakes. So, a remake of the original on the PS1. I hadn't even heard of Metal Gear Solid when I bought this game. So what happened was my friend had The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker that he had pre-ordered and got on day one. So it came with the Master Quest bundled in with it. So obviously that's quite sought after nowadays. But I thought that was cool, and I offered to buy it from him, and he was gonna do it, but then he was like, I don't know, like I really like it. And so then I found one on eBay. And so I'm like, I was watching the auction and I was gonna buy it. Well, unfortunately, I got outbid at the last second and I was devastated. And I had saved up money too, and so I didn't have a ton of money all the time, and so suddenly I had $60, to blow. And so my dad found out that I had lost the auction, and he's like, "Well, do you want me to take you to GameStop and you can pick out a new game?" Well, sure. And so, anyways, this had just come out, and I saw it on the shelf, and it looked really cool, caught my eye, and so I picked it up, brand new, and yeah, definitely worth it nowadays because this is like obviously like mint condition, complete in box, and definitely one that I've enjoyed in my collection. Okay, up next we got Baton Kaitos Origins. So the sequel to let's see, so I get this right, Eternal Wings and the Lost Ocean. So yeah, usually sequels tend to be a little more obscure, especially with RPGs. And so this one is roughly worth about $140, which is pretty crazy. But the cool thing was that I actually bought this in a bundle with the first one, and so I think I got the bundle for like $60 to $70. So it ended up that I paid like $30-ish for it. So, anyways, that's a cool one. Okay, now here's one I got in a bundle: Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. This one, along with Coliseum, have just shot up. And glad I was able to get it in a bundle. And actually, I believe it didn't come with the artwork. Like, I was able to buy that off of eBay for like $3-4, which you couldn't do nowadays. But let's see, Pokemon Gale of Darkness, about $150. It was even higher. I want to say at one point it was around 200. Um, but it looks like it's settled a little bit. But yeah, complete in box, even the Nintendo Power advertisement and all that. Oh boy. Resident Evil Code Veronica X. This is a phenomenal game. One of my favorite of the old school Resident Evils for sure. I just thought it was a cool story, cool locations, all that. I believe I bought it at GameStop because when they started releasing all the Resident Evil games on the GameCube, I just kept my eye out and just bought them one by one and played through all of them. So this one is roughly about $150 also complete. So got both the discs and the book. Phenomenal shape. Oh boy, Skies of Arcadia Legends. So a port of the Dreamcast RPG. I remember I had my eye on this for quite a while because way back in the day, I think it was in Nintendo Power, they always had advertisements for this. And I thought it looked so cool, you know, the airships and the floating islands and all that. And so I finally pulled the trigger and bought this. And I think I paid somewhere around $80. And that was the going rate at the time. And then for whatever reason, it just dropped down to like 65. And I'm like, what the frick? Like, why does it drop as soon as I buy it? So I was a little disappointed by that. But now I don't have to be disappointed, seeing as how this has jumped up to $185. Pretty nuts. But yeah, so this one got complete, and the disc is like mint, like not a scratch on it. And this one is I've seen quite a few where the disc on top, like the not paint, but the coloring cracks. And I was like, that would suck if that happened to me. All right, Chibi Robo. Man, this one was an interesting one to get a hold of. I had never heard of it, and then I watched like GameCube Hidden Gems, and this came up on a couple of the lists, and I was like, yeah, this looks like a perfect GameCube exclusive. And I remember it was going for about $40 when I first heard about it. And I was in college, so it was like, well, that's not too bad, but still, you know, $40 for an older game. I don't know. And then this retro game store by me had a copy, and they would also do like trades and stuff like that. And so I remember I had a couple GameCube games that I had gotten for $3 a piece. And I said, okay, I got these two that I could trade to it. And, you know, what could we do with that? And so we did the trade with those two games and a bit of cash. And I remember, unfortunately, it didn't come with the manual. So I had to buy the manual, and then I bought one specifically to come with the awesome Nintendo Power advertisement as well. So in the end, I paid, it was 27 something. And nowadays, it's going for about 225. I think it was even up higher at one point. I'm not quite sure, but still, $225 is nuts. But it is a very fun game with a lot of heart. Okay, here's another random one. Ribbit King. I think it was just a Hidden Gems video I came across, and I was like, I want Ribbit King. And the retro game store I was looking at had a copy, but I think at the time they wanted like $80. And it was going for like 60-ish on eBay. And so I'm like, nah, I'll just order it off of eBay. And so I found a copy, and I was like, I'm going to buy it. And it was an auction, and the only problem was it ended at midnight. And I'm usually up at midnight, so that's not an issue, but I'm usually not up bidding on eBay at midnight. So I had been in contact with the seller because he had sent me a few extra pictures. And so midnight came and went, and I had totally forgotten, oh yeah, I'm going to bid on this. And so I missed out, and I was like, shoot, I'll just have to watch for another one. And then all of a sudden the seller contacted me. He's like, hey, just a heads up, the deal fell through, so I'm just going to be listing it again. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to set a reminder and make sure I do it this time. And I did, and I won. And he sent me the game, and then he actually refunded part of the shipping because he was that honest, or I don't know, just that much of a stand-up person that he was like, hey, shipping actually only costed, like $7, so here's 3 back or whatever. I don't know, but I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, anyways, this one got the 2 discs, the manual, and then also one oddity that can make a big difference too is this Bandai questionnaire that came with it. And so that's one factor that kind of bumps up the value. A piece of paper. All right. Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. This one also shot way up because when I bought it, it was going for about 100, and I was able to do a trade and get it. But yeah, this one has just gone way up, and so it's going for about $260. And it's always been sought after, but yeah, just getting up over that 200 mark is crazy. This one actually, it's tough because I had gotten a GameCube bundle, and a lot of games I had already had in my collection. So of course I swapped out anything that was better, better condition, or just whatever. And so I had a bunch of games, and I was so sick of selling because I just get tired of having to deal with low ballers and just people in general. It could never be easy. So I was like, I'm gonna take these games to the retro game store and just see what kind of trade I can get. Maybe I can get some cool games. So I got this one and like Super Mario Strikers and Donkey Kong Country Jungle Beat. And I swear I got another one, but I can't remember for sure. So I traded a whole bunch of games just for these 3. And at the time, the 3 games I got were worth about $190. And then all the games I traded at that time were worth about 200 and I want to say it was 235. But then I was factoring in, well, that's eBay prices, so if I sell on eBay, there's the 10% and the PayPal and all that. So I did the deal, and then I added up what I traded and how much it's all worth today, and it's $552. And then this Mario Strikers and the Donkey Kong game are worth about $365. So that kind of sucks, in the end, kind of losing out. But I mean, money wise, I technically didn't lose anything. But that's just how crazy the video game market is. Okay, very heavy hitter. Basically, has always been a heavy hitter. Gotcha Force. This one roughly about $420. And there's some that have gone for $500-600, but I don't know, because you'll see a whole bunch for around $400 to $500, and then a random high one here and there. And so I'm like, nah, they just had some good salesmanship, I guess. But this one, anyways, there was an auction ending, and it was a bit lower, and so I just threw my bid out there, my highest bid, went back to work, came out, and to my surprise, I had won the auction. And so it is complete in box, plays great. The only downside and why I did price it a little lower, like the manual's complete, but it's a little beat up. And then the artwork, not bad, but there's just like a few little dents on the spine, unfortunately. But I mean, overall, it's in decent shape, and I can play the game. And so I was able to get it for, it was about $180 at the time. All right, and then this one, I feel like Gotcha Force and Kibivore are basically always fighting it out for the top spot. I feel like this one being an Atlas title and just so random that it usually is a bit above just because it's such a uncommon game. Um, this one I actually got for it was around $70, and so I had always been watching it. It was going for like 200 plus, and one day out of the blue, I just checked on Amazon, and there was a copy for sale for about $75. But it didn't have any pictures. The description was kind of short. And I was in college, so I couldn't just throw $70 out the window. Probably should have, because even if it was just disc only, but I sent a quick email and said, hey, could you possibly send some pictures? I'm really interested in this. Well, I should have just bought it because the next day I get a reply, oh, sorry, it sold. It's like, gosh dang it, oh well. But then there was no more copies on Amazon, and so then somebody listed another copy, and they had a really great description, no pictures, unfortunately. But I think they saw that the last one sold for around 70, and so they priced it for $70. And so I didn't even hesitate. I'm just like, I'm just gonna take a chance. They have high ratings, good description, so I bought it. Showed up and just absolutely beautiful shape. Disc is mint. The manual is mint. I was super, super happy about that. But yeah, this one, like I said, $400, $500, $600. But let's see, about $475 is the average that I kind of came up with. So yeah, that's nuts. Almost basically a $500 game, and yeah, it's tough to say what's actually worth it or not, but that's what people are willing to pay. But yeah, here they are, my top 10 most valuable GameCube games. And I have quite a few that are over $100, or at $100. And that's nuts. But yeah, let me know, what are some of your favorite GameCube games? What are some of your awesome pickups? But yeah, thanks for sticking around, and as always, have a good one.